I'm overthinking this. This is not working. Hi everyone, it's Liz here. Welcome back to the Liz channel. I am so glad that I am vlogging again. I feel like it's such a safe space for me to open up and talk about things that I really love and just to engage with people and kind of share my experience. I love hearing what people have gone through, and I want people to know what I've gone through as well, you know, just to help someone out. Today I have decided that I am going to talk about postpartum. I am so glad that so many women are opening up about postpartum, and it is such an important message that, you know, you don't have to have a snapback and be great looking like a week after. People who take months to get back to their weight before pregnancy and kind of start accepting all those stretch marks that start happening. It is very hard and it's very difficult. It's not the same experience for everyone, and you cannot predict that this is how you're going to look after pregnancy. And I mean, pregnancy is a whole sport on its own. So and you know, you try so much and you find all these products to kind of prevent stretch marks and, you know, all those things, but sometimes it just doesn't work because genetics play a role, and that's something that a lot of people do not talk about. So I gave birth to twins 8 months ago, and it has been a roller coaster. From my pregnancy videos, for those who've watched them, if you haven't, please go and watch. For those who've watched my pregnancy videos, you will know that I was exercising all the way up until the last day. The last time I weighed myself, before I weighed myself when I was pregnant, I was 61 kgs. 61. And I remember I was actually trying to get back to my normal weight, which was 55 kgs. So in the process, obviously, I found out that I was pregnant, and when I saw the doctor, they weighed me and I weighed 69 kgs. And at the end of my pregnancy, I was weighing 75 kgs. If I am wrong, because Mick is not here, he would remember, but if I'm wrong, I will definitely put the correct number down on the screen. After the birth, so they weighed my placenta, and the nurse said, your placenta weighed like 9 kgs. And I mean, that is a lot. And I mean, 9 kgs of just the placenta, and there was like 2 babies in there, and there was amniotic fluid in there, so that was kind of a lot. I am actually surprised that I actually went back to my normal weight. I don't know what degree it is, but I remember my gynecologist was like, it's just going to be about 4 or 5 stitches. After that, the stitches kind of fall out in the weeks. So mine fell out at about, well, all of them. I saw the last one fall out at about 4 weeks. And to take care of the stitches, I didn't do anything hectic. They were not painful at all. So to take care of the stitches, it was just salt water, basically. So you just mix some warm water with salt and just spray down there after you do the business and you wee and whatever. Another thing that happens is when your milk comes in. I mean, it is the weirdest feeling ever. My milk came in on the 3rd day. So I will have to do a separate video about breastfeeding, because trying to breastfeed twins, that is a some of the things that I complained about during my pregnancy was my dark neck. I thought I was gonna stay like that forever, honestly, because it took so long to actually go away. It took about 4 to 5 months. I mean, and the one thing I'm forgetting to mention was a day after I gave birth, my right leg kind of just swelled up. It was huge. It wasn't painful, but it was just big. But I remember the gynecologist saying, just to make sure that it was not a clot, I had to go for a scan. So they did scan me before I left the hospital just to make sure everything was fine. And everything was fine in the end, and it went down after about a week. My weight and how my stomach looks. Regarding my weight, let's see. When I went for a 6-week checkup, I asked the doctor if I could weigh myself, and I actually weighed a lot less than I did before I was pregnant. So I weighed 58, but I think they were 58 kgs, sorry. But I think there was a lot more to me losing that much. In my experience, straight after I gave birth, we went home on the 3rd day and everything was fine. They checked the babies were also fine. So we had no NICU time, which was awesome, because I made it to full term, so they were strong enough. But twin B, which is in Soku, he got jaundice. So on the Sunday after we were discharged on a Friday. So on the Sunday we went back to the hospital because I suspected that there was something wrong. So Nsuku had jaundice, and I had to stop breastfeeding. We had to know how much he was drinking. He had to drink a certain amount at every feed, and he had to gain weight. So it was hard to know if he was getting the right amount with me breastfeeding. And pumping was a whole other thing because I had no time because there's another baby. So it was a very kind of a difficult 2 weeks for me, because the jaundice did kind of take long to kind of go away. We thought after 3 days he'd be fine, but it took about a week. So for me, it was just a lot of stress during that time, and that is when you kind of establish your milk supply and and all of that. But I'm not talking about breastfeeding. Sometimes like eating was not a priority to me, so I think that kind of contributed to why I lost a lot of weight so quickly. But also breastfeeding also helps, and but I think also the exercising did help, because I could still wear most of my bottoms while I was still pregnant. I did not go like a size up, so I could still wear like a medium in pregnancy clothing. So in regards to my belly, I am going to insert some pictures. So I think I took about 3 pictures. Yeah, this part is a little bit difficult for me to talk about. So I can't sit here and lie to you and say overnight I was able to accept how I look now and be happy about it. It took a while, and when I realized that they were these two beautiful people that I created, that my body birthed, and the nature of it all, I honestly don't care about how I look anymore. It's right now, it's just about me being happy. And I mean, who needs to wear crop tops? And what are Spanx made for, you know? All those things are little prices to pay for the bigger picture, which is your babies, and like this life that you've created. And in the end, all of that doesn't matter. Yes, I have to kind of start looking at other clothes to wear. I can't wear very tight clothes anymore. But I mean, it doesn't matter. It honestly does not matter. Yes, it took me a good few months for me to start getting used to how I looked. But right now I'm at a place where I'm actually quite confident with the way I look. I can walk around naked again. And I mean, I feel like the stressing about how I felt as well kind of put a toll on my relationship with Mick, because like I didn't want him to see me naked, and I was trying to cover up, and you know, the intimacy, it was just very nerve-wracking for me, because I was like, how does this person see me? And I mean, Mick is such an honest person, and I mean, he's told me so many times, he's like, Liz, I don't care how you look, you are beautiful to me, and you created these two small people that that are just, you know, yeah, amazing. I mean, they're so amazing. And you know, he was like, to me, it's not about how you look, it is about who you are as a person, and if you're happy, I'm happy. So to anyone watching this that is feeling very self-conscious about how you look, for me, if you still need to lose a little bit of more weight, I mean, start eating right, get into exercises. I didn't eat right. I didn't eat right, and I have stretch marks now. If you've watched my pregnancy videos, you know all the oils and all the lotions that I used. But my mom had stretch marks when she was pregnant with all of us, so it was kind of inevitable that I was going to get stretch marks as well. And to think that they happened about 2 weeks, a week and a half before I gave birth, it's just crazy how all of that happens. And I didn't see myself looking back at all of this and saying now that it is really okay. And to any mama out there who is feeling self-conscious, like, girl, don't do that to yourself. Life is too short for you to be stressing about just your stomach. Honestly, like, I mean, you don't need to wear a crop top to look good. You don't need to show your stomach to look good. And so what if you wear a bikini and people see all those stretch marks and all that shriveled up skin? Babe, do you, whatever you are comfortable with, do it. If you want to wear that tight dress and there's a little bit of a flab, wear it. Honestly, wear it. Don't care what people say. Don't. So if you feel that you are comfortable with what you are and how you look, then that's fine. Another thing that I didn't expect was postpartum hair loss. Oof. Wow. If you guys watched my pregnancy videos, again, you guys know that I had a big afro. and I actually didn't cut it because of my postpartum hair loss. I actually cut it before the postpartum hair loss started. So I cut my hair because I was tired. I did not know what to do to it. I did not have the time to go to the salon, to sit down and leave 2 babies at home to go do my hair. I did not have time to kind of take long showers and braid my hair and detangle and honestly, if you have the energy for it, good for you, but I didn't, and I did not want to waste my energy on stressing about hair because I had 2 babies. So I was like, it's just better for me to cut it. So I cut it off, and I actually want to keep my hair short until until I get pregnant again and have another baby, and that baby is about 6 months old. Then I'll start growing my hair. But for now, I mean, is there anything else I'm forgetting to talk about? Another thing that I complained about during pregnancy was the fact that I had acne and I had some dark spots on my face. What I used for that, because I was in the house all the time, I just used my Posha M marula oil. So the bleeding, after you give birth, you bleed for a while, like a while. I bled for 6 weeks. I would say the blood per se was for 4 weeks, and the 2 weeks was like just some light discharge and some spotting here and there. One thing I am going to say is I did not like the maternity pads, and I don't know if it is because of the stitches, but those did not work for me. So I bought some adult diapers. Yes, I said it. Some adult diapers to try out while I was still pregnant for the postpartum, and they worked wonders. They were comfortable. They were just very comfortable, and they could hold a lot of blood for a while. So I would say try that out for anyone who's looking into it. But after about a week and a half, the bleeding was not as heavy anymore, and I just needed to use like normal Always Ultra night pads, and I mean those were also quite big, so I think just normal pads, because obviously you have to kind of change regularly. But for those first few days, try those adult diapers, or I think they are selling them now in South Africa, but when I was looking, they were not selling them. But it's kind of like, it's a pad, but it's like a panty pad, so get those. So before I forget, the products that I was using while I was pregnant on my stomach, I still used those after I gave birth, because, so yes, they did not prevent the stretch marks from coming. The stretch marks did come either way. But while I was pregnant and I was using the products, I saw that my pre-existing stretch marks on my body kind of became better. So I knew that if I did continue, then they would look a little bit better. And I took a picture today, so I'm going to post that as well to show you how my belly looks now. So you can't really see the stretch marks that much, and I think it's because of the oils. So if you are using anything for stretch marks, continue using it even after you give birth, just so that it helps with the appearance of the stretch marks, so that they are not as like wild. For me, that is it about postpartum. honestly, if you want to know anything else about my postpartum journey, please comment in the comment sections. Follow me on Instagram and DM me. I am so open to talking about this because I want people to get over this whole stigma like you need to have a snapback body. So subscribe, like, comment, click on that notification bell, comment in the comment section. I will definitely reply whenever I can. And I mean, that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and love.